Um, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the next time you meet a guy named David, look out. Welcome back to Movie Nerdzz, folks. My name is Tom. I'm your host here with Dave. Again, hi Dave. How you doing?
Good. Great intro. Great intro.
I don't know if you want to be named that same name as that guy right now, but
Hey, I was around before that character
it's
was.
true. True. So, welcome back, folks. We are here to review The Last of Us, episode 8. What's the title of this one?
It's When We're in Need.
When we're in need. What a fitting title. And yet I think it's the wrong title.
Okay.
Because we'll talk about it. I get it when she needed help, but really the whole episode, I'm glad they didn't have Joel come in because to she needed to do this on her own. That's all. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do episode 8. Before we get started, let me warn you: we are gonna be doing a spoiler review on episode 8 of The Last of Us. If you have not seen the episode, we just finished it. Me and Dave just barely finished it, and it's fresh in our mind. I, on the other hand, have the pleasure of playing the game, and actually, folks, this was the closest to the game
Really?
I have ever seen.
Okay.
And there are a couple changes, but man, it was pretty much I would probably say 97% just like the
Wow.
game.
Cool.
There's the editing of the show is different than the game because you do play, in this case, as the game come to this point in the story, you do play as Ellie, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
So you play her as her character. And so but before we get started in the episode, I want to review a little bit of a little film I saw earlier today, and that is not today, sorry.
Yesterday?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Maybe 2 days ago. Was it yesterday? No, it was it was Friday. It was Friday. I'm losing my days this week. It's crazy.
They're all blending together.
Yeah. I got a chance to see Cocaine Bear. Now this is based on a true story that I can't believe it.
Based on a true
Well, yeah, loosely based on it's a true event. Let's just say that.
Inspired by a bear.
There you go.
That ate cocaine.
Well, and so they were trying to figure out how the cartel was trying to figure out how to smuggle drugs into the U.S. And they said, let's just throw it in the forest and we have our guys to go pick it up. Well, lo and behold, here comes a bear who got a hold of a cocaine and started eating it. And folks, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I'm not giving any spoiler away. This is just a very, very soft review. The best part of this movie was when the bear chased the ambulance. It's hilarious. It's so funny. It's it's so funny. But I don't think it was that good of a movie.
We're seeing in theaters.
It's not. I would not waste your money on this one. I'll be honest. I think I would save this one for like streaming or VOD or one of those. And so the movie has this, it's fun. It's a fun, entertaining movie. I think you still get the value for what you pay for, but I would recommend you not doing it. It's entertaining. There's laughs. There's it's craziness going crazy. But the movie has an issue with identity. And what I mean by that, it doesn't know what it wants to be. At one point, it wants to be a comedy, it is a comedy throughout the movie. And then at one point, it wants to be serious, dramatic. Then it wants to be a horror and gory, like, with guts and stuff. Like you see a bear kill people, and the way they kill is pretty. So there are mix of different genre in this movie. And the movie, unfortunately, suffered because it doesn't have the consistency tone or the consistency of what it wants to be.
Okay.
And so I feel like that's something that people will have to either overlook and just enjoy the movie, which it is. Like I said, I was still entertained. I laughed a couple, I still laugh, but it's just as a movie itself, it wasn't that good of a movie because it wasn't sure what it wants to be. And so take that with a salt, it's just an opinion. You might actually think differently and like it, but I don't think you should go pay to see this. I would wait till it comes on streaming, but it is worth watching it because it is entertaining. So if I were to give this a score, I'd probably give this a 6 out of 10. There's some stuff in there. The editing part, the pacing was all over the place as well to me. Wasn't consistent. The key word for this movie was not consistent, and that's the bad part about it. And so, I don't know. Go check it out for yourself. Let me know what you think down below. I do have a little bad news. We lost a subscriber.
Oh no.
I don't know who it was. I hope. Apparently, they don't enjoy our talks. It's okay. It's okay.
That's all right.
You
were all very precious to us. So when one of you leaves us, we feel it.
We feel it right here. We feel it. Just like Dave, he felt his hand hitting a girl's face. That's in the show. Let's talk about this. Let's move on. Episode 8, The Last of Us. At this point, Joel has been injured. Last episode we had a little flashback of what's Ellie's how she got where she is and how she got infected. I was kind of surprised that they didn't go in more to like what happened.
Yeah.
I wonder maybe they're gonna save that another flashback of what happened.
Yeah, how did she end up with with what's her name?
Yeah, so how did that's something I like to see, but we'll see. It doesn't really matter, I guess, in the sense of it doesn't really have to do with the main story. In a sense, we just kind of know how she got it and a little bit of background on who Ellie was. And folks, let me give you a little my impression of this episode. I love this episode. I think this is the best episode of all the episodes that we've been talking about, been watching. Now, I'm not saying this is like the best episode miles away from the other ones, because this is pretty on par with the first episode and the second episode, and I know not the third one down below. But I was enjoying this episode, and it brought me back memories of what when I was playing the game. And it is, like I told Dave, it is 90%, like I said again, 90% pretty accurate to the game. Okay. There's a couple of things that they changed that happened in the game because of gameplay. You can't do gameplay on the show, so they had to route it in a different route. And so, but yeah, I love this episode. I thought it was great. What you think? What's your first impression?
It was intense.
It was.
But there were no cordyceps or no infected in it. None.
And it still was so good.
It was intense.
They had that speech about, and man, the actor that played Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Dave, so good, man.
Yeah.
So good.
His portrayal was really good. Interesting that the character uses religion to kind of control these people. Even though he has no stock in it whatsoever. He's total hypocrite about it.
Well, that conversation he had with Ellie when they put her in a cage, that was, I love that dialogue between them. Now that's not in, I don't think that the religion part is not in the game. We'll talk about it more, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So keep going. Sorry.
But yeah. So the way it kind of ended, when they put her on the table, they were going to chop her up and eat her. And she's like, she stopped, she got him to stop, which was, I like the way they did that.
Yeah.
Made him kind of double take. And then she did what she had to do.
Oh yeah, man.
And I wouldn't expect anyone different. This character, it really fit with this character. All the hardships she's gone through and her will to survive throughout all this.
Remember Dave said you have a violent heart.
Yeah.
That line is not in the game. They threw that in. Okay. Yeah, they threw that in to make sure people understand that, yeah, she might be scared, but she's actually should be feared as well. And so you see that they throw this little sprinkle in a new lines to kind of give her character even more, like, I don't know, more gravitas, if I can say that.
Yeah.
And so
and she lived up to it.
I know, man.
The character lived up to it.
And the show has done it again. They make us actually they make the bad
they humanize
they
the
humanize.
villain. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so you kind of get like these people aren't bad people, but they're being led by a nutbag who uses God to control them. Although if you were in Apocalypse, and I loved Ellie's,
she's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
You it's the apocalypse and you still believe in God, like, you know,
totally
which I thought was kind of pretty funny. That's not in the that line is not in the game in the game either. And so yeah,
the term for that is unrighteous dominion.
Oh yes.
Check
us out on Simple Man's Gospel as we talk about.
That'd be a good topic for a podcast. Is unrighteous dominion.
So let's go through what happened in this episode. Yeah. So we got Joel who's injured, and now Ellie is trying to find medicine. So she's getting hungry, and now she's got to go find.
And they're
food.
running out of food.
I love that scene when she was eating, and she's like, she could have ate that last piece, but she put it for Joel.
For him.
I love this. This episode just proves how much growth in the relationship has erupted. It's incredible how the showmaker are making us care. I'm gonna tell you right now, the ending when she walked out of that door and she I about had tears, had goosebumps, and I almost want to cry because I felt like if that was my daughter, I just want to embrace it. It's like, it's me. And that line, she goes, oh, she's a baby girl. Oh,
that surrogate father-daughter relationship really got sealed by the events of this episode.
Okay, so before we keep going, the fun fact, the guy that she chopped at the end.
The guy that played James?
Yeah, James. That's Joel. That's the voice of Joel.
That's the voice of Joel in the game? Right. In fact, that's cool.
If you go back and watch the episode, he has lines. Just listen to his voice and go. Maybe you can go on YouTube and watch the gameplay. Or I'm like, oh, it's Joel. Joel is playing this role. It's weird, dude. But the character James is real in the game.
Okay.
So it's just
voiced by someone different.
Yeah, just voiced by someone different. So you get Ellie. She got to go hunt. She goes and she shoots the deer, or what do they call it? They call it a deer. Is it a deer? Okay. Is it a female deer?
No, it wasn't a female deer. It was a buck.
So they came across. She gets it. She shoots it, runs away, and dies. And then we get Dave, and we first meet Dave in the beginning of the show.
Beginning of the episode. Yep.
And as he's preaching about God and this stuff. I already knew that they were people. These people eat people, but what I didn't realize is only a handful of people knew. Not everybody in the group, which is very wicked, man. Like I was like, holy cow, you're making these people eat human beings. It's insane, man. Insane. Yeah. So we get them talking and kind of get to know who Dave is. He's the preacher. Cuts to Elliot, and now she's hunting and shooting. Comes across meet Dave and James, and that conversation is exactly like where it happened in the game. And so she wanted medicine, and the way she was barking at him, I thought that was really cool. And you see what Dave sees in her, like leadership and blah blah blah. And we saw that in the last episode, how she's at that the parole officer said that she could be a leader as well.
She's a natural leader.
Natural leader. So she gets there, and I love the fact that they tied the just like the game, they tied those people to his group of people, and they tell the story. I thought that was clever the way they did it. But I knew it. The cool thing about it, Dave, as I'm sitting outside, this is gonna happen, and I'm like, okay, what are they gonna change? That's exactly what happened. Nothing's changed. That's exactly what happened.
That was a surprise for you.
Yeah.
But they didn't change much.
They didn't change much. And
I like that reveal of the connection of the end of the previous episode. I like how that David is the one that is like, everything happens for a reason, and I'm gonna prove it to you right now. So in the game, it sounds more menacing. The guy who plays the voice Dave in the game, he sounds. I mean, I get the actor who played Dave in the show is good too. He's really good. But for some reason, if you watch the gameplay or the movie part of the game, he sounds very menacing, man. What do you think is more deceptive or more evil? The David in the show kind of lulling her into a false sense of security or the like natural menacing sounding in the game.
I think the show, Dave, is a little bit more just because of the background they gave. They humanized, like you said.
Yeah,
they gave him a background, and the fact that he in the game. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when we get.
okay.
We can talk about it. Nothing. I'll tell you what the difference, but the game, because this is pretty spot on, like almost a game. In the game, he wasn't a definite leader. Because in the game, James comes back with the medicine, and Dave say, "Give her the medicine," and he does, and he says the line that I thought, okay, he's not a definite leader. Is that the others were not like this? So it's the council of people, I think, believe in the game that works. Because in the conversation in the jail, once they capture Ellie, he said, "It's hard for me to tell them to keep you alive." So there's a little, I think, leadership.
He's not pulling all the strings. There's more
this
people
one
involved.
in
He's
the show.
Pulling all the strings in the show.
All the string. He is the definite leader, and I agree they should have just do that in the game too, but they kind of give you keep guessing, and so granted, they tracked her back, and the conversation that she had with Joel in the game, it didn't happen. It didn't happen that way. Like she didn't give him a knife. She just went, I'm gonna leave him away. And so, but the conversation, someone come here, you effing killed him. It's like, geez, dude, geez. Yeah. But she got the medicine, gave it to him, and so in the morning, the way she laid with him, that was sweet. That's a sweet moment, man. Like now they love each other, they care.
Yep.
Which is going to make the season finale even more interesting. And so, anyways, she takes them away. She takes them, the guys away from Joel, and she gets shot down the horse. She lays back down, and then she gets captured and goes right into in the jail cell. They have the conversation. Apparently, Dave wants her to be his wife.
Yeah, that's man.
That's why I think it's more menacing, creepy, but right?
The way she did him, that was awesome.
You tell us, what did she do?
So she's got her hand on the door of the cell, and he starts to caress her hand like he's coming onto her, and she like kind of plays into it, like okay, puts her hand, so she's got both hands on his, and just yanks it, and I'm like, yes, yeah.
And I love the fact that he pulled her and banged her against the thing.
Yeah.
And then she goes, Ellie.
He's what? Like, what?
Ellie, you tell them that what is she? I don't know the line, but
Ellie's the little girl that broke your effing finger.
My favorite line of the whole show, man. That just shows you she does have an evil heart, and there are similarity to Dave and her, and that's why he was
an opportunist.
She's a very I think that
she sees her opportunities and she takes it.
So and I think Dave is the same guy. You go back and see who shot the deer. I don't know, but we need to go. This is he's the same. I think Ellie would have done the same. They're both opportunists, and they want to be better. Well, in a sense, better for themselves. They don't care about other people, but
yeah.
I love the fact that man, Joel is a bad A.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And this is another thing we see. Yes. We didn't see this Joel in previous episodes. No. Just Joel, kind of alluded to
this is the dark Joel. His past comes back, and man, he captures that guy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
He knows. You tell he's done
this before.
He's done this before, and the fact that he said, "Mark this map." And if
it better be the same place,
and he goes, I'm not gonna tell you anything because I know I believe you're your partner, and just smash his face in, man, like
yeah.
And then Joe goes there, but the way that you said it was very intense, and I love the cutback between Joel trying to find Ellie and then Ellie trying to escape from Dave and dealing with that. The intensity comes in. You would think as an audience like, oh, you never play the game, so let me ask you a question. Did you think Joe was going to go bust through the door and save the day?
Yeah.
I did. Yep. I think everybody think that. And what were you surprised at how it ended or how she got escaped from Dave?
Yeah, that came on as a little bit of a shock, but like when she came, the interaction between him and Dave, and then here's the thing that I liked, and being a father of a preteen, like I wouldn't expect anything less
Yes.
than from someone that gets the upper hand on a would-be rapist.
Yes.
Like he's attempting and she gets the upper hand and she just lets loose on him.
Dude, he is so evil. Remember in the beginning scene, they were mourning for the guy that Joe killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, can we bury him? He's like, yeah, it's too cold.
Too cold.
But really, they probably strung him up and cut him up and fed him to them. That's probably what happened, right?
I love the way they kind of like hit the show. I knew, and I think you knew because you
told me. Yeah,
I should have never told you that. But the way they set a hint.
Yeah,
like you see, like it's just what
the dude this? Brings in the meat. What is it? It's venison. But they just caught the deer, so the audience is like, yeah, okay. Like there's no reason to think otherwise.
And then they cut to the guys bringing the deer in, and I'm like, I hope people understand these are.
Yeah.
And the subtle hint of the acting, the people there, the group of people that knew that it wasn't,
they a little bit slower.
Everybody just chomping down, and I'm like, I love the way they portray and directed that part, because it doesn't give you like, oh, here you go, they eat people.
Yeah.
And boom, but they kind of like, wait, do they? I mean, can they? Would they? Like that kind of thing, and the mystery, and then by the end, the way it was revealed with Joel, man, that was creepy.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what happened in the game in the spoiler, as we spoiled between the game. So you get the scene, Ellie fighting Dave, and man, Joel does not come in to save the day, folks. This is Ellie's story. This is her episode. She has to learn how to survive without Joel. But and she had to know that Joel might not be alive at this moment.
Yeah, she had no idea.
And so she attacks, she stabs him, he beats the crap out of her, and then almost was going to rape her while the building was burning. I mean, I'm not a rapist. Get out of the building first. Whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do. And she got that hacksaw and the knife, the cleaver, and just went to town in his face. When I was watching it, I loved the blood, the camera
splatters on her face,
and you can see it trip in. It's not like they don't want you to think this is pure.
It reminded me of The Patriot, Mel Gibson.
That's right.
That's what it reminded me of.
So she wailed on him, and then she walks out the building, and you have this beautiful moment of a father figure, or father to her, at least now she will think that.
Yeah.
Coming to get her, and she doesn't know it's Joel until the very last, and you can see her face, the acting. Acting.
She is that was a great performance.
Was it not believable? Like,
you
felt this relief on her face, and you're like, oh man. I said, I almost cried, and I had goosebumps. I was like, what a great scene to end in. Because and
they walk off embracing each other.
Now, my only question that I have is, what about the other members? What happened? I want to know what happened, but and then we won't find out. They're really nothing. They'll figure it out some way, somehow. And so, I love the fact that the way let's talk about what's the difference between the game.
Okay.
Unless you have anything else you want to add before we move on to that part.
Trying to think. We covered the whole episode.
The horse, man. Poor horse.
Yeah.
Poor horse.
I don't know. They were trying to get her alive, and
I know. Well,
that's the opportunity. That was James, right? Shot the horse.
And
he was ready to kill her, though.
He was, because he knew why. I think he knew James what Dave was trying to do with this girl eventually. And
he wasn't on board with that.
I don't know if he. Well, you can tell by the episode that their faith, or at least James' faith on Dave, is getting kind of rocky.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he is okay with doing what Dave is doing, and that's eating people and killing people and all that stuff. And so, yeah. So let's talk about, if there's something else. Let's go. What's the difference? In the game, Ellie went hunting with the bow and arrow. She didn't have the rifle. Okay. She gets the rifle later when she comes upon Dave and James, and she took their rifle. So that's the difference between that. The conversation between her and Joel when they found her. They found her track, because they tracked her. Didn't have that. I don't remember. Do we call her saying kill those motherfuckers? Yeah, she just said, I'm just leading them away, and that was it. She went and did that. What are different? It wasn't a meat cleaver that she kills him with. It was like a machete. Like a long one, Bo just hacking him. And so in the game, it hacks him right in the head. You can see it. It's crazy. And the way Joel came to her was actually in the building. So the game is, she goes in, she's hacking and she's doing this, and he came and stopped her and grabbed her, and she was gonna hit her, but then realized it was Joel.
Oh, okay.
And they embraced there, and then they get out, and then that's when they went to Salt Lake City, which is coming up, folks. And so
next episode.
And so
so I'm just trying to think of how that would play out, like what the difference in their relationship and how that would play out, because he didn't see.
No, he didn't.
I mean, she's gonna have to explain to him what had happened.
I don't think you need to. I think that last scene with her face with blood covered, I think he gets it, man. I think he gets it.
Yeah.
And so when the guy went down to the stair and Joel had the knife and he stabbed him in the neck and lay with him like that, that did not happen in the game. He just actually, Joel goes outside the building and capture one of them and bring him down and capture another, and then did interrogate them. The interrogation part, it was pretty much dead on. Pretty much dead on.
Okay.
He's just like, he stabs him in the knee and it says, "Mark, where you guys are at." And so pretty much on point. The way the other thing is, the way Ellie gets captured wasn't the way the show was. She got shot off the horse, and she rode off the cliff, and then she kept running, and she actually got to the resort where they were staying in an abandoned building, and she's trying to hide, but Dave found her and then actually kind of like put her in a headlock and kind of put her to sleep and
put her out. Okay.
So that's how the what else the difference is that pretty much, I think that's it.
It all take place in the winter too.
Yeah, all takes place in the winter. When Dave and her are having conversation by the when they were waiting for James to come back. In the game, they were attacked by a bunch of clickers and all that, and so you have to play through that. And then, but I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad they didn't do that, because it kind of been the tone would have been different, because the tone was kind of like this. How do I say this without? It's almost like. You ever heard of a Reverend James Jones?
Yeah.
Ellie didn't drink the Kool-Aid.
No,
she did not. Unfortunately and sadly, those people who followed this idiotic piece of crap to South America did drink those Kool-Aid, and unfortunately, that's why I believe it's sad that people use religion to control people. Yeah. And you see that in this episode with Dave. He's a similar character to Jim Jones, although I don't think James Jones ever eat people. Not that I know of, but
not that we know of.
But he was a manipulator. He controls people with fear and by using religion to control these people. And so Ellie Ellie did not drink the Kool-Aid, and she actually did not believe him. And I'm glad they didn't do it the way, because right when he's talking and he said, I'll prove to you that there's no such thing as, luck. And then he tells you, I sent my guy. And then right there, that conversation happens after they fight the clicker in the game.
Okay.
But because this is the show, you cannot do it exactly like the game, folks. Let's be real.
Yeah.
They go straight right into it. They just went straight right into it, and he tells that story. And this is a great episode, folks. Anything else that was different? I'm trying to remember. Remember, I haven't played this game in a while. So I'm gonna go through it again eventually, but I'm gonna play part 2 first because I need to get through that, because there are a couple of things that in this show that hints to part 2, and you already seen it. The map, before Joe got stabbed in the they showed the
last
map
episode.
Yeah, they showed the map to no, not last episode, 2 episodes ago. Because last episode was a flashback, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
So they show a map from Seattle and from the south. I think it was California somewhere, Santa Barbara. I think that's what it's talking about. But those actually play a significant role in the second part of The Last of Us. So it should be interesting. Next week, anything else? I think that's it. I don't think everything else.
Yeah.
Everything else was pretty much, man, on point. Everything, even the dialogues was on point. It was amazing. And this is how you find out they eat people. Sorry, one more little fun fact. When Ellie in the game gets captured and she goes into the cage, she wakes up with James
while they're cutting somebody. Oh my gosh!
So James cut a hand off, slid it, and she woke up, and that's how she finds out that these people eat people. But I love the way the show did it.
Yeah.
They didn't show anybody cutting her arm off. They show a piece of ear that they drop, and she realized, holy cow, these people eat people. And the acting of her when she sees it, and I'm like, yes, she knows. I know that look.
Yeah,
she's gonna find out now. And then when she gives him the meat, I'm like, don't eat that, man. Don't eat.
Yeah.
And she didn't, and she actually kicks it away. And so that's the other thing that was different from the game. And so, but I mean, 97% is still pretty much on point.
Yeah.
But the changes, the 3% are those changes. There are gameplay changes that I think makes more sense for them to change. And so, love this episode, folks.
Any hang-ups for the episode? Anything you didn't like?
I mean, I would have liked to know what happened to those people, to his group of people.
Okay.
How they? I mean, a little bit like how they got there. I mean, they gave a little bit of, here's the crazy thing. I didn't think of that. I talked about how he was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that the QZ or the Q, what they call QZ? Yeah. And they got the Firefly took over. That's actually that's where they were supposed to be at in the game in Pittsburgh. So I thought that was pretty clever the way they did that, because instead of going to Kansas City in the game, they went to Pittsburgh. And so that happened. And so I thought that was pretty cool how they put that. I love that they tied everything together to a point. And so, other than that, I don't know. I would have liked. I mean, he tells a very vague story. Maybe that's the only thing I didn't like how they got together as a group. I'm not a leader, and they follow me. I'm like, no, you had to do something that for these people to to follow.
But if you're eating people, you're not gonna like.
Actually, I would have loved to have say
you're not gonna let all your crazy out. Somebody that you're trying to either pull into your fold or lull into security to eat.
But here's the thing, though, Dave. Let me ask you this to another Dave. Was Dave wrong though?
Was he wrong about what?
Well, in the time that they're in. Think about this, the apocalypse, right? People are starving. I'm not saying eating people is the right thing to do, but when you're desperate and you're hungry and you have no food, and what he was saying as a leader, these are tough decisions that he has to make that the people are depending on him to do. And so anything that you find, what he was talking to Ellie when she was in jail, was there any truth to that, or that's just more of like being manipulative to try to get her to come to the fold?
I interpreted that as him being honest with her.
Okay. So there's some truth to what he says.
What's there for him to lose by telling her? So either she gets on board or she's locked up.
Yeah.
He has nothing to lose by being completely honest with her at this point. Either she's on board or he cuts her up and feeds her to his people. So I think that character was being fully honest at that point.
And I think what he was telling her about being a leader and being people are following you, there are that responsibility that you have to take care of people.
Yeah.
And Ellie, and I think Ellie gets that because she has to take care of Joel now. To a certain extent, at least until that moment.
He's like, they need some.
So they need a father,
external figure. They
need a father, as he said.
Yeah.
So
and I think that was him saying that really kind of him telling her that she doesn't need a father.
I
think that kind of galvanized her for her last fight with him.
Yeah.
It's like she knew she didn't need anybody else when she has the opportunity to act.
Let me ask you this question, Dave, since your name is Dave and this character is Dave. Would you, for the benefit of your group, to stay alive, would you consider? Actually, I'm not even gonna say consider. Would you eat a human being?
Oof.
Now, let me emphasize this: dead human being, not the one you murdered. Oh, I guess in this case,
would I murder people to survive?
To survive. But I don't think you wouldn't decide that for your group.
I don't know. Like the Donner Party, man, like that. Jeez, they were in the same situation.
Can I be honest, folks?
Be honest.
I don't think you can't say no or yes.
Yeah, just until you're in that situation. It's
funny.
Know.
I was talking to my my cousin on the way home. I was taking her home because my mom's car is broken down. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe to get my mom a car. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that. And I was telling her the so I was like, and I asked her, I was like, would you eat people? And she goes, no, I wouldn't eat the people. Okay. What if you were starving, no food around? You're in a dead winter with the ground is frozen solid. The tree can't bear any fruit. Would you eat a human being? And she said, I don't know, because I don't know what it feels like to be that situation.
That desperate.
And I kind of understand why Dave and his group of people, although Dave is just a manipulator, he uses religion to control people.
Right. Yeah, that's dead wrong.
But that's dead wrong. But I also understand why he needs to keep these people alive so that he can still control these people so they don't all die at once. And so for him to make that decision, I guess it's the best decision for him to come up with, because there is no food. And I can't.
What's the alternative, though?
I don't know. Think about that. What is the alternative?
So if this character were honest with all of these people, and he wasn't preaching from the Bible, and he just told them, like, this is what we need to resort to. Are you on board or not?
Oh, that's tough. This
is, if we want to survive, we have no food, but we have a source of protein from our deceased compadre.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Like, do you manipulate them into just
taking
what they're given, or do you give them the choice?
Do you know what I would do? I would.
Yeah,
what would you? I don't want to know. I'll be one of those people who is just eating the meat and not knowing.
You don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss.
Honestly, I can't say this with a definite, but if I was that desperate, most likely.
Yeah, most likely. The alternative?
If there's no alternative, and I gave the scenario, the ground is frozen.
Yeah.
The trees are not bearing. There's no games to be anywhere. Everybody's in hibernation. No one's coming out. Once in a while, maybe you get a deer. Like Ellie got lucky. She found a deer, but they didn't get. Apparently, they couldn't find any deer. So they've been on a bad luck for a while to be able to get food. So I don't know, folks. What do you think?
That's a good question.
This is a good question.
What would you do?
I'm gonna post this on when I post it.
Do it. I would be honest, and I would say, if we're going to survive, this is the only option. It's your choice.
Yeah, that's tough.
And we make a decision as a group.
Okay, comment down below right now. I want to know if you think Dave, if not this Dave, not
David in The Last of Us, that character,
Dave, the character David in The Last of Us, would you resort to what he did? Not the religion part. I'm talking about just you're desperate. You're eating people. What do you think, folks? I want to know. I don't know what your answer is. Anyways, I think we pretty much covered the episode. That was a great episode, man. Great episode. This is one to the top of my list. It's going to be up there for a while, I think. So we'll see the season finale. We'll go. So next week, we are going to be traveling with Joel and Ellie to the land of the mystic, Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah, where they're going to find out how they're going to get Ellie, how they're going to make a cure. And if you haven't seen the game, I'm not giving it away anymore. I'm done doing that.
So I'm going to make the assumption that they're going to go to the University of Utah Health.
I don't know where they went in the game. I think they have their own QZ area. It could have been in the hospital. Yeah, it could have been that. I had to go back and watch, but I don't think I'll play it. So I don't know. But
somewhere up in Research Park, up on the East Bench.
Yeah. I'm really curious how they're going to end this. I'm very fascinated. And here's the thing, dude. They're going to go against the Oscars.
Are they?
Oscars March 12th. Okay. March 12th? I believe it's March 12th. So next Sunday. Yes, next Sunday. Yeah, it is. I have a confession, Dave. You can't tell James because I don't know if he listens. I don't think he listens to this. But I think he's right.
He might. You think he's right about Best Picture?
Best Picture.
What did he put down? I can't remember.
Everything all at once.
Oh, yeah.
But I disagree with him where he thinks, he said everything is here, everything's else down here. That's not true, folks. You can't. He can say that, but we all have different tastes, and it's not. For me, everything everywhere all at once is here, and everything else is over here. But I have to admit, like,
you think that's gonna take it, huh?
I didn't see it coming because they weren't winning everything up until the Critics Award, and now recently they weren't winning. They came and won the SAG Award.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if they won any Screen Actors.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
So I think James might be right with this one. I think everything our ones will take it. I'm still gonna hold on to my prediction, but I have a feeling they're gonna take everything. Although I'm right about Brendan Fraser, I think he's gonna win. The one that's
I watched The Whale. I watched it.
What'd you think?
Holy cow! That is so different than anything else he's ever done that I've seen him in.
My heart hurts when I watched it, man.
Oh my gosh.
I'm heartbroken for that.
Yeah,
it's incredible. I'm telling you, dude. Everybody says this Austin Butler's gonna win this, but I don't know. He won the SAG.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He went for best male performance, and so the one that surprised me, it was best female leading role. It was Michelle. What's her name from Everything All at Once? Michelle Yeoh won, which I was like, okay, I can see that. Kate Blanchett should be the winner, but apparently they didn't think so. So now they might. So that's why when that happened, I was watching the thing. When she won, I think James might be right.
Yeah,
he's gonna. Yeah, okay. So, but we'll see. We'll still see. I still hold on hopes to my prediction, and so we'll find out. Anyway, folks,
yours was the Banshees of Inisherin.
Banshees, yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Next week.
They're not getting any love though, because no one's winning in that one, and so it's like whatever. Anyways, I think we're on. Let us know when it's not about the Oscars. We will be on for the Oscars. We'll talk about it, but let's know what you think of the Last of Us episode 8. Would you eat people? I'm just gonna leave it like that. Let us know. Comment below. Until next time, folks. Be kind.